Welcome back to my channel. I'm Alexandra M. Hunter, also known as Chico on the Go. Today we're going to be discussing questions to ask yourself prior to pursuing a career in acting. Before we get into that, I just want to do a quick disclaimer. Outside, they're doing some construction, so we're going to add that to the score of this video. Pay it no mind. Along with the fact that there's going to be opening and closing of doors. You might hear from across the hall and down the hall from my neighbors. And in addition to that, my refrigerator, she's having a midlife crisis, so we're just gonna let her have it. But back to the questions. Question number 1. What foundational reasons are fueling your desire to act? If you don't have your foundations together, this can be a really hard industry to navigate through. If your foundation is strong, you know why you're in this industry, you know where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, just an idea. It doesn't have to be, oh, in 5 years, I have to do this. And then you make it to 5 years and you've surpassed that, or you haven't gotten to that point yet. It's okay, it's fine. But having an idea will be your guiding force. Having a foundation for that idea will give you the grit, the determination, the perseverance that you need to make it. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you're gonna need it all in order to really make it in acting, as an actor. The other part of that is, I guess not the negative side, but something to consider. Are you in this industry or trying to pursue a career in this industry because someone told you, oh, you're good at it, but you don't have a passion for it? That's something to check. Or you have family members who are actors or friends who are actors, and you're doing it because it looks glamorous. Wrong reason. Yes, it looks glamorous, but again, as I stated before, it's a lot of work. If you're not up for the work part, then you'll just waste time going after this career when you could be doing something you really love. Question number 2. What am I willing to give up? What am I willing to give up? You gotta ask yourself that question. I was watching an interview where Jessica Alba spoke about how she gave up a lot of time spending with other people. She missed out, or not even missed out, but just made the decision to not socialize as much, not to be around family as much while she was pursuing her career. At the end of the day, did that work for her lifestyle and what she wanted? Yes. But you have to decide for yourself if that's what you want. And if it's not, how can you go about getting to that next step in your career without missing out on vacations, like family vacations, graduations, weddings, all this kind of sleep, all these kinds of things you could miss out on. One of the things you may be saying in the back of your head but are afraid to say verbally, you're okay with and willing to give up having children. You're okay and willing to give up having a house right now. You see it as a future thing. You don't see it as something you have to have right now. The white picket fence, the car, the house, the Instagram life. Are you willing to give that up? Question number 3. Am I willing to be broke? Who told you acting makes money right off the bat? I don't know anybody who did their first audition and then they booked, like personally, they booked $3 million. Do you know anybody personally who booked off their first gig $3 million or more? I personally do not. Therefore, you have to be willing to front load. So you're spending money on classes. You're spending money on classes. You're spending money on classes. Classes are not cheap. Then you have your phone, which is your audition tool. On top of that, if you don't have a proper phone to capture your auditions, like say a lens is cracked, ooh, heaven forbid, you're gonna need to use your camera. You've paid for your camera. You need a tripod, whether or not you have a phone or you're using your camera. You need lights. If you're doing voiceover work, you definitely need a quality microphone and padding to help with the acoustics in the room. This is not a cheap business. There are ways to get around spending a lot of money, but you still have to spend a significant amount of money. Headshots, traveling to and from auditions, whether it be ground travel or air transportation. These are all things to take into account. Makeup, audition clothes, exercise equipment, a change of lifestyle when it comes to food. Because I'm not just talking about, oh, eat this, eat that in order to lose weight. No, you need to eat that and eat this in order to stay healthy. Everything shows through your skin. What you eat shows through your skin. So paying for front loading, because in long term, eating healthy is not more expensive than eating junk food. But in the moment, it's pricey. And you can write these things off on your taxes, which is fine, but you have to wait until you can submit your taxes. Can you afford to do that? It's a question. Am I willing to be broke? The next question. Who is my emergency backup plan? You heard it right. Not what, but who is my emergency backup plan? You need someone that you can count on no matter what's going on in your life with acting. If you need somebody to snatch you up and tell you, girl, you can do it, that's part of the emergency backup plan. They will bring you back to life. Like, their job is to defibrillate and give you some energy, give you that jolt that you need to come back alive for your career. So that could be for your passion, that could be for your finances, your spirituality. It could be for a lot of things, but you need to be able to count on that person. This person should not be a fellow actor. There's enough weight on us to keep ourselves afloat, let alone bringing somebody else on the buoy with us. Like, we're barely holding on sometimes. So it's probably not a good idea to ask another actor to be there for you financially, spiritually, and emotionally. I suggest finding someone from a different career path to help with that. One, they're seeing your issue from a totally different perspective. Another actor would just agree with whatever you're saying, more than likely, because they understand exactly what you're going through. But someone who is outside of the industry, they'll see things from different perspectives with logic. We tend to use our hearts and are very empathetic with one another. Somebody else is just gonna tell you flat out, look, you need to get a secondary job for now. They're cold with it. And that's sometimes what you need. It is what it is. Second person not to consider for this job, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Don't do it. You are your own HR department. If you have your boyfriend or your girlfriend as basically your life raft, then your emergency backup plan, it's a conflict of interest. If you break up with this person, then what? You have to find somebody else at a moment's notice? No. Or you have this person telling other people your business? No. Which leads me to the person number 3 not to consider. The gossiper. I don't care if this is your mama or your sister or your cousin, your brother, your best friend. If this person is a gossiper, do not pick this person as your emergency backup plan. You will regret it later. Let me repeat that. You will regret it later. You don't want to end up as a TMZ story before you even begin your career. And the fourth person not to consider for this job, the one who always has money, and we all know, we all have at least one of these people in our lives. It doesn't matter your ethnic background, but we all know that one person that has money all the time, but doesn't work for themselves and doesn't work for anyone else, and you can't really figure out where the money is coming from. They're always trying to offer you money, like peel you off a band, and you're like, why are you trying to give me money all the time? And they're like, well, you living out of your car. So then you respond with, it's okay, I have food in here, I have my phone for entertainment, I'm good. Or, you living under the bridge? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine, is what you tell them. There's a lavatory, there's a kitchenette area, and there's living space. Do not accept money from this person. Why? Because somebody will be looking for you so that they can find them. And usually it starts off as an action film and then ends as a thriller. So, that's a no. Question number 5 to ask yourself when pursuing a career in acting. You need to know, or just ask it with me, what is my emergency backup plan? So we just had who, but now we're rolling into what. You need to be really okay with your 9 to 5, or humble enough to go out and get a side gig, like at a coffee shop, because the hours are a little flexible. You have multiple people you can swap hours with, and that's why I say that. A flight attendant gig, again, you can swap hours. Work at a hotel, like in the hospitality industry. Babysit. I wouldn't say nanny because you're required to be there for longer periods of time. The child is depending on you in that relationship building. So if you babysit, you can do that after hours, after you've turned in your auditions. You can prep for your next audition while the child sleeps. Like, there's beauty in babysitting, especially if you do a lot of work with children in your audition timing. You get used to their little personalities. Like, it really works out well. What else can you do? You can work at a gym. You can do personal yoga classes if you're certified, and even if you're not certified. I mean, there's people all on Instagram who aren't certified and they're making it. They just put their little cash apps on there and people peel them off. They pay to do their Instagram classes. There are so many ways to make money as side gigs. If you need like 50 examples of how to increase your income or create not wealth per se, but have some money generated for yourself. If you want a list of at least 50 things to do, let me know in the comments below and I'll post it as a blog post. Question number 6. Yeah, this is good. Am I in pursuit of acting for the craft or for the celebrity? And you can be in pursuit of both, but don't let the celebrity outweigh your desire for the craft. And by the craft, I mean knowing who different directors are, their backgrounds, what they've worked on, knowing who the showrunners are, understanding different actors and their performances, the choices, watching directors' cuts, traveling to see different theaters just as like something to do for fun. And you can do this in your own towns. You can observe them from outside and Google information while you're outside and do like little treasure hunts for it. Or when the world opens back up, truly travel to different places and get to know people in those areas, theater directors, TV directors, network and bond with them online so that when you see them in person at events, it's not so awkward. So that's something you can definitely do, and then write it off on your taxes. As I was saying before, this industry is front loaded. So write it off on your taxes on the next year's go around, and you can get your money back for it because it is business. We have number 7. Do I want to be a voice, stage, or screen actor? This is a great question to ask yourself so you know how to direct your focus. You need to have laser focus on whatever it is that you're doing. You can do voice, theater, and screen acting all at the same time. But if you don't want to do stage acting and you only want to do screen acting, it's helpful to know that. So when things are presented to you, when roles and opportunities are presented to you, you know in your heart of hearts, no, I'm not really interested in that. I appreciate it and I can pass this information on to another fellow actor. It's the easiest way not to get derailed and to be happy. Because you can get some really high paying gigs, but if you're not going to be happy doing them, why not pass them up so that someone who is really passionate about it can snatch that role up and deliver it with all that they have. Question number 8. How will I cultivate my craft? This, I'm not gonna answer. Because you have to watch next week's video, because I'm gonna lay out some stuff just like I did with this video to help you all out. But I do have a bonus question for you. Am I afraid of the classic works? That's something to really dig down deep and answer for yourself. For me, I was terrified. I was terrified of Shakespeare. Absolutely shaking in my boots, scared. But I faced that fear. I went abroad, took some classes, and I am now working on that. That's something that I had to come to terms with. So I ask you to ask yourself, are you afraid of the classics? If you are, don't be. The classics are not as intimidating as you think. You can do it. Start with, I don't know, start with anything. One play at a time, you can do it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week at the same time, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time? No, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to get the time correct. And in order for you to get the time correct, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share. If you're watching this on your phone, be sure to watch on your tablet, your computer, or your PC. See you next week, and until then, have a great one. Bye.